All right, peace, peace, peace. What up? First and foremost, hopefully the Most High in your house, y'all, is blessing your day. By His mercies, you aren't consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house, Shaw's body, and two, we're naturally alive. And yeah, man, you know what? I want to get into this, man, because you know this was kind of impromptu. But shout out to brother Akawar, because I just finished watching the real he just put on with the rapper D1 from New Orleans, man. Great MC, man, great rapper. I remember when '09 he came out with the song J50 and Wheezy, and he went into it's a good shoot, man. I remember they used to play it on MTV a lot. That was like, me and my brother used to watch that a lot, man. But the rapper D1, he's from New Orleans, and honestly, he just kind of pretty much he pretty much rips up a piece of paper and he goes into pretty much remark what we mark and what how should I say what profit is a man that gain the world and lose is his soul, man. So, and I want to get into that, man, because we're going to I haven't watched it again. I was trying to watch it online yesterday, Lord willing. I could see it in the movie theaters again with the movie Sinners, man. That was one of the themes. This movie is so layered, man, and that's one of the themes of that movie, man. Because honestly, how Romnick, I'm sorry, I kind of spoiled it, but how pretty much Satan, because pretty much honestly. Shout out to brother that sent me the first one, because pretty much vampires, the whole vampire, really, the original vampire was a Jake, so-called black man called Vlad the Impaler. He was a so-called black man. That's where kind of the vampire came from. But on a spiritual level, the vampire is pretty much Satan. Pretty much, that's really what if you really look at it, man. Because think about it, vampires, like they hate the light, they hate the day, you already know, and honestly, man, that's just what it is. They can't live through the day. They hate the light, and that light is what, spiritually speaking, that light be your house shot, the Most High your house shot, the will, or the Most High your house shot, the word, the spirit. They don't like that. They only come out at night. They get you while you're at your weakest, man. Just like that vampire is pretty much saying they suck all the energy out of you, all the life, out of your innate. But that's is what it is. So that's why this the whole vampire pretty much the same, especially when you see the movie. That's why the movie is called Hidden Sinner. And one of the themes of the movie was, of course, when we first talked about it, was envy not sinners. But notice even in the movie, Satan only the Edomite vampire, he only tempts his people with their own lust, and that's how pretty much Satan gets people, man. Because I was watching some reels and doing some videos about it, man, and it's based off the old singer Robert Johnson. I think we talked about this in the past, but he ended up, I honestly, even in the culture world, on the left hand side, he was probably actually died at 27. So the quote unquote 27 club, he died at that. But but I just want to get into this whole thing, because they try to say he sold his soul to Satan or the devil, but really you can't sell your soul to Satan, really, because we were going to get that in Ezekiel 18. All of them belong to the Most High in Yahushua, man. All the souls belong to him. Satan doesn't have anything to sell. You can be in covenant with him, but pretty much what they say, he made a covenant with him, but you can't sell your soul to him, man. But we're going to get into that, man. And what does that even mean? Because it's deeper than that. We're gonna touch on that in the base level, man, but it's just deeper than just that, because when that scripture is all, even for me, when that scripture is or that saying, even before I came into the word, that's the saying that always is really popular, because people just use it for high profile people, wealthy people or rich people or entertainers or athletes, stuff like that. Yes, this is very prevalent for them, but it's also talking about just everyday people, just talking about people in general, man. You doing your own will, because like that 1 John 2:17 goes into how the will of the Most High house shot abides forever, man. And on my will, I don't know why I was talking third person. That's funny. But my will only lasts, my desires only last but for a moment, man. Only for a vapor, for a little season, man, compared to Most High house shot's will, man. But we're gonna get this to in chapter mark at 8 and 36, man, because I just want to get on this, man, because I was going to talk about this today, but I was like, no, since I just saw that reel, it kind of had me thinking. And also, too, I was watching the class yesterday with in the conversation I had with my homies. So we're gonna go into that. But it says, Mark chapter 8, verse 36. It says, "For what profit a man that he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" So see, exactly, man. So and that's what too, man. What does that even mean? You lose your own soul. One because you did your own will, not the will of the Most High Yahushua, man. You did everything that you wanted to do, but they kind of like that Proverbs 1:28 to 30, or that Second Ezra 9 and 10 through 12, man. They received all the benefits in the life, but they have not known me. To know, they didn't know the Most High Yahushua. What it is to know the Most High Yahushua. Exodus 34 and 6. 34 and 6. Numbers 14 and 18. Jeremiah 9 to 24. Explicitly states those that have known me, those that have knowledge of me. So that's pretty much what it is. So let's read that. Let's look at this again. This is Mark chapter 8 and verse 36. For what profited a man that if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul? So see, exactly. And a lot of times too, I get it. I get why colloquially people say, like, what profit selling your soul the same, but you can't sell your soul the same. One, it's not yours, because what brought the price, and one, you can't sell your own soul, because although what we're about to get in Ezekiel 18, and two, Satan, he's and here's the thing about that, saying selling your soul the same to the devil. One, the devil's like going to be in the same torment, like, that all the wicked is going to be in. He's going to the same hell there, so he can't even get himself out of that. So that you can't do that. You can be in covenant with that, but you can't be like, he's not the keeper of souls. That's not him. Satan's just like, we always talk about saying he's not big of a player as, like, we make him out to be. People make him out to be. He's just like a son of Belial. That's why his name isn't even mentioned, man. His in Hamitic, for those that like the Lion King, in the Hamitic or African languages, and it's like Scar, because Scar his name means dirt or worthless. That's what Satan is, or like that horror movie, like Candyman. It's like his name is not even worth mentioning, honestly, man. Because like we all say, he's that person that snitched on everybody. Now he's in the same cell as them, or he's a misery loves company type, man. It's that. But anyway, let's get this in Ezekiel 8. Let's read this Mark again. Then we're gonna grab Ezekiel. It says Mark at chapter 8 and verse 36. For what profit a man if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul? So yeah, exactly. So yeah, man. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 18 real quick. Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 3. It says, as the Lord liveth, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh. Let me get verse 4. I'm sorry. Behold, Ezekiel 18 verse 4. I'm sorry. Behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, and as the soul that of the Son is mine. So the soul that sinned, it shall die. So see, that's how you lose. That's how you lose your soul, doing your own will, being a sinner, hence the reason we sinners, perfect. All praise the Most High Yahushua for that. That's perfect. Yeah, hence being a sinner. That's how you lose your own soul, man. Because because your soul, because you gain the whole world, and we know that First John and James that says those that are friends of the world are enemies of the Most High Yahushua. And if you're a friend of the world, you're enemy of the Most High Yahushua. And if you love the world, you're contrary to the Most High and Yahushua. So if you gain the world, so that means you're of the world. So you're in league with the world. So that's how you're gonna lose your soul. Because what did Yahushua say? Those that that don't fear don't fear man that can kill those that can kill the body but not the soul. So the Most High Yahushua, when you're of that, they're going to kill the soul. It is what it is. So and that's why it is. Let's get this in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 real quick, man, because let's look at this again. Behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so the soul of the Son is mine, and the soul that sinned, it shall die. So see, this is how you lose your soul. Let's get the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, because you're a sinner and you're not righteous. So that's how it is. So let's get the Wisdom of Solomon 3 verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall be no torment touch them. So you see, that's just is what it is. So see, And then your house, I said, John chapter 10, those that can't be plucked out of my hand. So, the Most High Yahushua's hand, those that belong to him, the sheep that hear my voice, they can't be plucked out of my hand. And and if you gain the world, and if you are the world, your soul doesn't belong to the Most High and Yahushua. So it says here, there shall no tumor touch them. But so if it does, if your soul isn't doesn't belong to Most High Yahushua, if it's of the world, if you gain the world and you're of the world, it's going to go to torment, like it says. So, like what we said about Satan, because that's why we can tell Satan can't. So you can't sell your soul. Satan has nothing for sale. Because then the book say Satan even knows where he's going. Him and his angels, his posse, whatever, they know where they're going. So that's just is what it is. That's why I said, what was that in Matthew? Have y'all come to torment us before the time? Because Satan already knows. They already know. It's that misery loves company, man. But that's what it is to gain the whole world and lose your soul. This is more than talking about politicians, or politicians, wealthy people, the elites, entertainers, musicians, sports stars. It's more than that. More than stuff on the left hand side on the cultic world things, and it's just not doing the will of the Most High Yahushua, man. That's just is what it is. But speaking of that, man, because what it is too. Shout out to brother send me firstborn, because since we're gonna touch on that a little bit, man. Yeah, let's go to Matthew real quick, man, because honestly, man, because what it is too, and don't get it twisted, man, because they're in that we're gonna touch on that on the natural tip, right? On the natural tip, we're gonna touch on that, because they're just not saying there is people that don't work hard and to get to where they're at, especially people. This ain't really of any nation, but I'm just talking about our people, because a lot of our people always say that. I was just talking about that with my sister actually when we were on the way to see the on the way to see sinners, last Wednesday, whatever. And she said, yeah, because she's talking about Shannon Sharp and all this stuff like that, and Michael B. There's people of because she always say, listen, our people always say that, why is it when we get a level of success, our people, they always have to do something sold out, or pretty much be a part of the craft, the Kemetic Babylonian Mystery School system, occultic world. But don't get twisted. There are some people that have slipped through the cracks and things of that nature since the Hollywood and all this stuff has come there. It has, but usually that's a part of it though. Because you gotta think about this. Because there's a bunch of talented people, honestly, that come out to get involved in that. But because you could go to California and see that, man. There's a bunch of people that went out there to do that. But there's a reason why they have certain people already lined out to be certain things. There's certain people already in their script per se to do that, man. Because because of course they work hard to get there, but there's other things that you had to do to get to that point. I'm not saying every single body, because listen, there's a lot of people in Hollywood or in that type of lineup, but they haven't done. They're aware of the certain things that go on, but they're not in that. They listen. I just do this and I go home. If I don't go to all those other stuff, those what's the word? The Eyes Wide Shut type of parties, the quote unquote Diddy parties, or they'll do all the rituals and Bohemian Groves and stuff like that. I don't do that. They know about it, but they don't do that. But majority of them, especially of elite, the high profile, they do. But you know what it is too? Because I was talking about this with my homie. We was talking about this actually when we worked together in corporate America, and we talk about this a lot. Listen, the average person that even with no money, they'll sell out, or even betray a loved one, or even kill a loved one over money, or even less money. So how much more if you think somebody's offering something like that, or that they wouldn't do that, man? Because average people do that every day. So you don't think that to reach a high level of status, because sometimes it's not even about the money, it's just a high level of status for fame, and wealth, something like that. People won't do that. Because think about this, man. Let's go Matthew chapter 27-3 real quick, man. Because we just talking about this on the natural tip now, right? Matthew chapter 27 verse 3. It says, and Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw he was condemned, he repented and brought him 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. So think about this. If Judas, think about this, right? If Judas can betray, this Yahushua, the Son of God, for 300, because shekels would be equivalent now to $350. That's like Jordan money, or even some half of rent money or bill money. If you don't think, like, if Judah sold the Son of God, Yahweh Shah, the King of Kings, the Son of himself, you don't think average people nowadays ain't gonna do something like that for even more? Shoot, even in the beginning, Joseph's brother sold him out. Like, they later repented, of course, but they sold him out. Like, but sometimes it's even for for power and status, because like we always say, life is like according to power dynamics. Because listen, didn't Abimelech, Gideon's son, kill 70 of his brothers just to be king, just for that power? And we see this a lot of times too. That's hence to show power. That's why even because sometimes people always say that, because I read the comment section of of different power. Shout out to the brother Mark Dark. He does power he does reviews on the episodes of Power. He's been doing it for years now, since the show started. And people always say, "Oh, why is it this and this? Why is this always the same thing with these drugs and TV shows, stuff like that?" But yeah, not realizing that's a part of the game. People do this every day. That's part of it. People betraying each other for wealth. For greed. Doing each other dirty. That's part of the game, man. Because that's been going on since the beginning, man. So that's is what it is. So my point is that average people do this, for everyday people do this. So you don't think when wealth and status and fame, notoriety, that those elites, pretty much the serpent tempts you on the left hand side, tempts you with. You don't think people ain't going to do that? Of course, man. So that's what it is. But in that, that's where gain the whole world, profit your own soul. Because listen, Satan can step to your house shot like that, Matthew 4. So that's is what it is. But he loved his father more than that, the will of father more than that. So yeah, man, and that goes back to what we're saying, how we're Eve pretty much, man. Because Satan hit Eve with the same thing, of course, her own desires, and and that's what happened. That's why we're Eve. But that's we talked about that yesterday, man. But yeah, man, that's just is what it is, man. I just wanted to touch on that, man, because I saw that reel, I was know it, and plus seeing them talking about the movie, man. But it's deeper even than that. But hopefully it's edifying. Yeah. So hopefully the Most High House blesses y'all day. So peace.